oh, it's a new day today.
What's up, guys? This is ListenUp Long Island podcast episode 6. We're here with Whaley. Let's go, dude. What's going on, guys?
Man.
How you doing?
Good to be here, man. Thanks for having us.
Dude, it's so fun. We just heard your eclectic performance. You guys bring the vibes super high. You're active on Long Island, particularly in Suffolk County. Now you're breaking into Nassau. So maybe start off by telling us, like, what kind of vibe you want to put on when you perform your shows.
Oh, man. I mean, we're just always trying to keep it funky, let loose a little bit. And you never really know what it's going to be. Like, we kind of like to go in different ways. So, we like to keep people on their toes. So you kind of know you're going to have a funky time, but also don't know we might take you on a little ride.
I'd say like every show is kind of like a unique experience. You're not going to get the same show every time with us. It's not like a cookie cutter show thing. We have every show we write, we carefully plan on our set list. And Nick could speak to that a lot. And everything is, going to feel a little different every time. But for the most part, you're getting the same product, just a little different flavor every time.
Yeah. Especially if we're playing with certain types of bands, we'll if their fans are like used to hearing a certain type of music, like our music touches on all different styles, so we'll pick the songs that kind of play more towards those bands that we're playing with, or that crowd, or whatever it might be.
We play with like reggae bands. We'll go a little bit more in the reggae, but yeah, we always keep that like in mind, who we're gonna be playing with, and we always try to make it different from the previous show or the previous time we were at that venue and stuff like that.
Yeah, we even think about that, like what we did the last time we were there, because typically certain people will only see us at one venue because that's where they're closest. There's a lot going on Long Island, so like if you got something near you, you're like more likely to just go there instead of traveling, to go see. Just wait for that band to come to you, kind of thing. So, yeah.
So I got a question, because when I listen to your music, and this is like true for both in person and when I listen to the recorded versions, I get just really great vibrations in a sense of like, I feel like grateful to be alive, and that feels like a big theme of your music. I feel like happy. I feel like I want to move and be free and dance, right? So these are like some of the themes that I feel when I'm listening to you guys. And I'm curious, like, how much of that is like by design? Like when you guys are writing, are you guys saying, man, I really want to create like some positive music, or is it just like a product of what's inside of you guys, that you guys are just positive and that just like naturally comes out? Curious.
Yeah, I know, like in the writing process, like writing is like, music is our therapy. So it's like sometimes you'll have to write like a song to pull you out of something, like we actually have a song called Good to Be Alive. It's going to be on our new album, and it's just kind of about about life and trying to, the music, it helps, if it helps us when we're making it, then hopefully if it helps one other person get up, or, then that's all we're trying to do,
I'd say it's like a combination of the two. I think we use the music as an opportunity to get away from the stresses of life and show up, be in the moment, and just, be musical. It sounds kind of cliche, but it's, we want to show up and bring the energy and, really say something with your playing. You want to speak. So I feel like we do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One of our songs, Escape, is like trying to escape the rat race and trying to just break out and, bring the energy, and it's one of our favorite songs to open with or close with, and it's just trying to every song has a story.
Yeah.
We have songs about aliens, we have songs about smoking weed. We got.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Who's got?
What's the song, the alien song? Which one is that?
So that's one of our new songs. It's called Edward Snowden. Yeah. Well, it's called Snowden. Yeah.
it's tough to write about love songs, right? We've run out of ideas. I mean, how many times can you sing "I love you, you love me, we're a great big happy family"? But
I can tell you
now,
have a kid.
now we have to come up with new things. So like, what's new? What's modern? What's on people's minds? Like, this is our age, and this is our message. Like, Edward Snowden's a figure of our time. So like, yeah, in 20 years from now, people are gonna wonder like, what were people feeling? What were the people thinking about? You know?
What were the people thinking about Edward Snowden, guys?
That's the song.
You have to find out.
Yeah, find out.
When we record that, we have to record that album first.
So with that being said, if I may ask, what's like, I guess, the most unique motif that you guys have written? So we got aliens, we got Edward Snowden. What else do you guys have on the table? I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, what do you
I don't know words. You gotta. Yeah. Logan does the words. I don't do words. I just hit things.
No. These guys are good at singing the harmonies and learning the words to the choruses. But man, the most interesting. That's tough. Well, maybe speculate or like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
The most interesting motif. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Fly kind of hits the motif, but also the dynamics of the song. I think that's probably my favorite in terms of like how we start off kind of quiet, we kind of build it up, we come down, we come back up. It's like it kind of hits all the right buttons.
I also think there's like a little bit of a double meaning there too.
Yeah.
With just like having just like smoking some weed, having a good time, but then also it's also like serious and just like about staying positive and achieving your goals and shit like that. It's like
how far do you want to fly?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, weed and cannabis has a stigma to it that you're unproductive, but like through music, I mean, what's more productive than getting high and writing some good tunes?
That's what I'm saying.
That's where most of the greatest albums of all time came from.
Yeah, and it's not to say you don't need to smoke to be creative, but sometimes a little bit will spark a little creativity. So, not if you overdo it, then you're just gonna pass out.
I'm just gonna go to bed. Been there.
Lesson: do thing in moderation.
Yeah, true.
But I think there's something to be said about sativa versus indica for that. Creative versus fall asleep and just get munchies.
True.
Yeah, right.
So you guys, sativas, hybrids,
I don't know. It depends on the type of day and what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sativa. Yeah.
Sativa in the studio.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go. I mean, Long Island has the best weed. Everybody knows that, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It's imported.
It doesn't suck. I'll tell you that.
Ever since they legalized it, I guess better quality around here.
I feel like with the legalization process, it has removed the potential for additives and the potential for like shit to be spiked and laced and stuff. So I think like that is probably like the saving grace of having that shit legalized. There have been so many times my shit's been laced.
Yeah, I feel so much more comfortable.
I mean, but it is like strange walking around Times Square and there's like people set up with tables, like, here's some, and it's like,
Well,
come on,
it's just like cigarettes now. It's just like, if you could smoke a cigarette, you can smoke a joint.
I literally walked straight by an NYPD cop like during Fish Run and smoking a joint. I kind of forgot, and I was like, oh, wait, it's fine. I'm cool. We're good. It's cool.
You can't do anything.
Like all in our generation. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there was such a stigma about it. You had to hide it, and I mean, how many lives were ruined because of that?
Oh, countless.
Tons of people incarcerated just for carrying weed. Like that's terrible.
Absolutely.
Victimless crime.
Yeah.
So you guys got an album on the frontier and another one in the shop, right? So you got two potential albums on the way right now. You guys want to tell the people about it?
Yeah, pretty much 2 albums, right? Like this newest thing that we have in the can, we're actually going, hopefully to finish it tonight, is we're calling it the New Day Sessions. Yeah. And it's songs from Logan's first solo record that was COVID.
Yeah, it was like a COVID record. Yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
okay.
But it was like we play them all a little bit differently now as Whaley. So we kind of did like a video studio live session, and we pulled
5,
seven,
6,
nine,
7,
eight,
8.
something like that.
Yeah.
So like most of the songs, and we played them live in the studio, and now we're gonna go mix them and release them as like a thing.
And now is this album? It's going to be like some old songs kind of recreated by you guys, and also some new songs, or is it going to be just the re-alivening of those old songs?
Yeah, it's just gonna be the old songs, and then we're in the future we're gonna release some new songs.
Yeah, we've got like
Yeah.
I don't know, a bunch.
Yeah,
Some that we're already playing, and some that are, just kind of.
We're keeping it in the back pocket.
Yeah.
I'd say the New Day sessions is like, we recorded this album during COVID, and then we went on tour, and we played all these songs, God knows how many times, and now we come back, and now, we're chilling, and then we get to play these songs, and they have kind of a new life to them, because we have gone out and we've performed them countless times. So it's an evolving thing, you have little nuances that you pick up here and there. And so I guess this album is like a culmination of all those nuances. And it's just like it's still the track that you're familiar with, but it's just going to feel like, a breath of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be interesting because you guys, you're saying every time you play a show, you guys mix it up, right? And you guys are playing around. Not every show's the same. So when you're out on tour, and I know you guys were touring before, and you're about to go out again. I guess all that time playing the song, it evolves, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always evolving, and sometimes like when we played or when we recorded the COVID album, like we had never played them live, so we didn't really know how they reacted. So now it's like a fresh breath of air. Like the song just keeps evolving, and we were gonna move past it, but it's like, man, we gotta give these songs they deserve another crack at it.
I could even like relate that to our Logan and I's first band that we were in, Geo Tribe. If anybody knows that, it's like an OG Long Island band. All right, so we had a lot of music that we played in that band, and those songs, they're still in our heads, and they've evolved in our minds, and so we're bringing back some of that stuff too, and that could be pretty fun.
Hell yeah. Do you think a lot of your changes and the nuances and the evolution of your music can be attributed to a lot of like the lineup changes that you've had, in recent
Yeah, man, definitely. Like bringing Nick on was like a huge upgrade. Like it felt so good. Aww. And like me and Nick have like the same favorite band and listen to the same music, so we're like. And me and Andrew have been playing together for like 14 years.
Wow.
So it's like now we really have like a group like consciousness that we can tap into.
Yeah.
Especially now we've been playing with Nick for like 3 years now.
That's crazy.
And a lot of shows, a lot of like we never miss a week of practice, and it's
Even when there's like nothing on the horizon, we just make sure that we get together. We might not do anything exactly productive, but there's always one thing that we talk about that is like a step in the right. We might not be musically, might just be something like a business related thing or a content related thing or whatever it is. We always something is getting planned to or worked on at all times, whether we have a show on the horizon or studio time booked or not.
Yeah, every week.
Hell yeah. It's a sense of camaraderie. It's a sense of, unity that you guys have as a band. And I think like that, like overall, is so important for any band.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you guys are like consistently meeting up and even doing things outside of, practice space to just make sure that you guys have that, camaraderie is just a beautiful thing, Like respectfully.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, like back in the day, if you were in a band, that was it. You know what I mean? And still like bands that are touring actively right now, they live in, they wake up and they have a headquarters, some of them, and they like go into work, and that's their job. They're either in the studio or writing or having a meeting or doing this, interviews or whatever it is. and they see each other every friggin' day. You know, we don't have that luxury because we currently have to have regular jobs and shit like that because things have changed. But you know, if we were able to, that's what we would be doing. You know what I mean? And once a week I think is pretty darn good. You know, considering I'm in 4 other bands. They both teach full time. You know, Logan plays solo at every bar, restaurant on Long Island. You know, it's like,
Yeah, well, I mean, we're once a week, but it's not like we're only going for like an hour. We go for like 4 hours. We just, you know, we're not like we don't have that like time constriction. When we're there, we're present and we're working on shit and we're getting things done.
It's like your priority.
Yeah.
I've seen Logan perform like, I don't know, a dozen times in different places. And it is funny, like how you were saying, because you evolved, like take New Day, for example, which was like just like a beautiful single. And now it turned into like an eclectic jam of so you really have expanded your sound because of the chemistry that you have between each other. So I think that's amazing. But what you played around like a bunch of festivals, like especially I think you guys like rock the summer. You guys are a summer band.
I feel that
So
too.
like
I feel like we've been hibernating this winter.
Yeah, right. So what is it about your music and like the summer, maybe the beach? Like paint a picture for people. Like what is
it the whale? Is that what it is? Like, I don't know. Like, is it the whale in Whaley?
Is that your spirit animal?
Must be.
The warm waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess like it goes with the music. Like it's just most of it is feel good stuff. You know what I mean? And I just think the best vibe is outside when you're playing music. You know what I mean? More people come for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah.
It's a feel-good season, man. People want to be, present in the moment. I feel like that's just something that happens like as the weather gets warmer.
The weather gets warmer, the days get longer, so psychologically everyone's in a little bit of a better mood. And then the winter comes and people aren't in as good of a mood. But not everybody, but
Yeah, it's true.
I do love a nice air-conditioned venue, but
we got stories about that.
yeah. Or un-air-conditioned venues.
From the tour?
Lord, yeah.
War stories from the road. From the road. Tell us about the road. Where did you go and what did you experience?
So last year, so 2 years ago, right? We went on our first tour, just us, right?
that's right.
In the spring.
First show was like the hottest day of the year up in New Paltz.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was like a heat wave in May. It was like May and it was like 90 degrees.
That was the weirdest show too, because we set up on the porch of a clothing company, like a hippie dippy.
Yeah,
it was cool.
New Paltz is a cool.
They're so nice.
It's a cool town.
So it was the porch, right, and then an active road,
Yeah, there's a fucking road there.
and then the field where the audience was.
Yeah, right.
So while we're playing, people are just like driving by and honking. No. Because they're like, yeah, rock and roll. But you're being disrupted.
Completely messing up your set.
And it was weren't we doing a Bob Dylan set?
Yeah, it was like Bob Dylan's birthday or something.
Yeah. So it wasn't like regular Whaley, like we were kind of like taming it down a little bit.
Bob Whaley.
We slipped in some originals that day. I think all of our set lists are online on our website, by the way.
That's right.
Where can we find that?
Whaley.band/setlists.
Ah.
Yeah.
Whaley.band.
Whaley.band.
So that's a fun thing. So if we lie about something, you can go check ours.
All right, I'm gonna go check right now.
I'm pretty sure we put in some original music. But yeah, it was cool. They were very nice. It was just hot. I know I went through 2 shirts and I had the same blue shirt.
And you got recruited to play for another band, which happens a lot to Nick.
Yeah, that does happen.
So I have a project for you.
Well, I heard that you were running your own festival and you were in 3 bands at your own festival too.
After telling myself that I was only going to play with one band, and I told all of I was like, you can be on the festival, but I'm not playing with you. Unfortunately, you have to do a solo thing. And then everybody was like, but please.
It really became Nick Balls Fest.
It's the Balls Fest. And then someone dropped off, so we had to quickly who else am I going to quickly replace with? Then make my own band do it. You know what I mean? So that was pretty much with us. We weren't supposed to play a full set. Yeah. I was going to make them do a
yeah, we were going to do acoustic.
And then I was like, yeah, we're going to do a full set because it just had to happen that way.
Well, all your projects are good, so
it's because I'm not in charge. I just let people take me along.
Ernie at the movies.
Well, that was a lot of work and a lot of fun. But that was, everybody put in a lot of work on that. You guys know it takes a village. You guys are putting on this big old thing.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It adds up very fast.
The dynamics are wild. I mean, first we had to pick a theme. We wanted this to be jam bands because we want that uplifting vibe that people go and just have a great time.
Sick.
And then we were like, okay, if we have jam bands, we need some visuals. So then we got live painters, we got artists involved, projection visuals, lights, lasers, all this stuff. Okay, now we need a sound guy. Now we need this. Now we need that. So all the pieces, all of them have to work in synchronicity.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it takes a village for sure.
It really does. But I think everybody's just so on board. They're like, let's do this. I've gotten so much positive support, and it's just the Long Island community needs it. We all crave that, and we want to be part of it. People just want to be on stage and see something happening. This is all our moment in time to enjoy, and while we're young,
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Speaking to that point, I'd say the whole live music thing, I feel needs to keep building up. It needs to keep coming back because we had this whole DJ thing and everybody just wants to go out and club and why not have a band, just get a live band, it's real musicians playing real music instead of hitting a button and listening to some stuff, you know what I mean? It gives you a more unique experience, you could listen to music at home if you want to listen to a track,
At that point, start a Daft Punk cover band.
Yeah. It's a good point because you can't connect to a DJ or you can connect to the DJ, mixing the things, but you can't to the machinery. But
there's the difference between a DJ that is just mixing random songs from random artists versus a DJ producer who is at these festivals that produces everything that he is then performing. You know what I mean? It's not just the DJ. There's two different kinds of DJs, and some people don't understand that. You know what I mean? But so booking the DJ that's just a wedding DJ or whatever is that I just don't create a scene around yourself. Like they do with the original EDM stuff, and that makes sense to me. But
obviously it's cheaper.
Why are we? Why? You could do that. Can't you just put on YouTube at home?
Same thing goes for cover bands, and I always say, I love cover bands, to a limit, but who wants to see a tribute band when you can go home and listen to the real thing, I want to know that you put your heart and soul and your suffering and everything you've done, you put into those lyrics, and that is what I appreciate. It's this is real, but when you're imitating something, it's you're it's not authentic.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes the cover band, it's a cover band. They do whatever. They pick a theme. Right now the 90s nostalgia is big.
Of course,
so all those bands are doing really well, and it's that's nice.
Yeah.
And it's they do it, whatever. But then there's a tribute band, and there's something. I feel there's also something to be said about that. If it's a dead band, they're not out there touring.
Yeah.
There's no way you're gonna get that experience live elsewhere. And this band is putting on their experience. The way that band used it, that's almost a different thing than just a couple of dads learning these tunes, kinda.
I
You know what
agree.
I mean? Like,
There are levels. Like, yeah, I saw The Machine. This is a Pink Floyd. Have you seen it? Oh man,
that's
I was
different.
blown away.
That's totally different.
Have you seen that? Like,
No, I saw Government Mule,
Oh,
dude.
Government Mule. They did
Yo.
Dark Side of the Moon, right?
Dude, I gotta tell you about the Mule, man. So, Great South Bay Music Festival. I went last year with some buddies of mine that came in from Buffalo. People drove in from fucking Buffalo to Long Island for South Bay great music. All right, and they went just to see Government Mule at the end of the night. So they played their original set, and their original set's awesome. They have like the keyboard player, organ player. He's got like the fucking keyboards out, and then they start playing Dark Side of the Mule, which is basically they front to back, the Pink Floyd album, and then they did Comfortably Numb at the end, and it was one of the best fucking shows that I've seen of anyone, replicating something like that to the T, So like to an extent, I can say like, yeah, like that experience is definitely valuable, but that essence of like the fact that someone drove like 8 hours away to come to a festival to see an original band, like that's the type of shit that I want to see with everybody. I want people to be able to like find their new favorite band and stuff like that. And you guys have a great fucking sound. I would love to see someone drive 8 hours to come and see you guys. I think that'd be fucking great.
That'd be great.
Yeah. we just need more rooms like Industry, and like like rooms that are dedicated more towards putting an original band on and like having people come there and just check out what's happening in the scene.
Yeah.
Rather than like there's no venue on Long Island that is advocating for original music really like that. It's all just like places that also happen to have music, and they're just like, yeah, we'll put your original band over there.
Yeah, it's like the bar with the stage on the side type deal.
It's an important point because I think people forget how much power they have, like the people that can deliver their audience, right? So just your everyday person. And if there was like a hypothetical other world that we're trying to create where, people would come out as much for like a cover band or more for original music, like what might that lead to, right? And the reality is like people would create venues like they used to that fostered original music like that. And the original music scene would explode. And we, as a result, would get more local, homegrown, great music. And then people don't have to like put as much time into doing covers, which you basically have to do as a musician on Long Island now to survive. Oh, yeah. But you could be doing that like just in original music, 6 or 7 days a week or, however long these musicians play. And like, what I see for the world is a day where original musicians are celebrated, right? And like we could take pride in like, all right, this is like, these are the people in Long Island that we're like bringing up together, and like instead of me listening to like the Beatles, I listen to Mr. Rooster. It's like our Long Island Beatles, right? Or like, or instead of like, by the way, love Mr. Shout out Mr.
We just had a conversation about Rooster and Fish.
Right, and instead of Fish, man, we get the freaking whales, man, the whales, right? You know what I mean? Like we gotta like take that kind of pride in Long Island, and I feel like if we can get that kind of like unison and that kind of vibe going, where it's like, no, don't listen to Jay Beebs. I got, Ronan, but like that kind of attitude, like that'll make the scene explode, and like I really feel like that's where we're heading, and that's what this March 8th is all about, we want to show people that original live music is commercially viable. So catch the whales, catch the Rooster, the Cherries, the Rubens, the freaking Chris Rubens, Big Happy. But come out March 8th, be the difference. Yeah. Be the difference.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, that's
So I got a question on some venues, because I know earlier we were talking about like summer venues and stuff like that. When I went through your guys' Instagram, this is my Instagram deep dive, I saw that you guys went to some type of venue that was like a barber shop.
Oh.
And a bar?
That was interesting, yeah.
What the fuck was that about? Can you give me a little more context?
That was the Bundy Museum in
That was Binghamton, yeah.
I don't really know, like, exactly what the museum, like, they had all weird different rooms, right? The green room was dedicated to the Twilight Zone, and they had the dummy from the Twilight Zone. Like, that
yeah, it was a little freaky.
Oh, man, it was so creepy. And then they just had, like, unopened toys and like all sorts of weird stuff. But then the like the bar area, it had a bar, but it was a barber shop. But it just was not an active barbershop. It was just part of their thing. And we only went into one of their buildings, but they had multiple buildings, so I don't know. We don't actually
It was
know.
like a history museum. They had like old like you'd go to work back in the day and you'd punch in and it's like one of those old machines. They just had like a bunch of like old stuff there. It was pretty cool. Like one room was that, and then you go to the next room, and then like we're setting up and we're playing like a set in there.
So sick.
And then the next room is a barber shop with like a piano in it. Like it was cool.
All right, guys. So we're setting up a barbershop venue now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start giving
Barbershop
people low
acoustic.
cut
Maybe
fade.
like
I'm gonna give people a taper
set,
fade while they're listening to Whaley. Yeah.
It sounds like a good music video. I'm sure it's been done at one point or another.
Just like Foo Fighters, they're like playing, and then like the dude's running in the fire. Some dude's getting a haircut, and like Whaley's playing in the background. I would pay to make that a music video, dude. That'd be hysterical. Just get a haircut and then have them like play behind you. It's fucking great.
That's cool. I mean, look, we need interesting venues. Like, we can't just play the same bar. And that's my whole contention, is that like people go to just drink and they're not paying attention to the music. They're looking at their phone. They're talking to their friends. They're louder talking than the actual band that's playing. And that also has to do with the sound system. Like, they may not have a good sound system, and you can't hear yourself on stage, and the band, they can't hear you. Yeah. So it's like, why are we even there? Become background music.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Zach from Industry. That place has been
such
like
a sick place.
It's been our home. We did our album release party there. We're opening it up for Hedonistas. Was it March 16th?
Wow.
Nope. March 22nd.
March 22nd.
March 22nd.
At
After Stereo Garden.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're a touring band. I mean, I think they're in Nashville right now, actually.
Yeah, they're sick. I saw them down at Sweetwater Festival a couple of years ago. They're serious. They're real good. So we're stoked to be playing with them that night.
We like to shout out the people that have been favorable to like the musicians, because some people they're kind of like predatory, but then some people are like super, musician friendly, right? So shout out like our sponsor Murphy's Music, and like Westfall Studios has a great reputation. So I was curious, like, do you guys have any people that you guys want to shout out that have been like helpful to the whole Whaley project?
I mean, speaking of Westfall, like our practice studio, Anthony also runs that. So that's been been our home where we've been the last few years practicing, and Industry.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Industry, obviously, for the third time.
Chad from Ride Waves, he always is looking out for us. Dysfunctone. We went on tour with Dysfunctone. The whole jam band scene. You guys obviously making this happen. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's so cool that, are you recording in Westfall? Are you doing your own thing, or?
Oh, DeVere. DeVere recording at DeVere. He's been our guy, recording wise. Everything that we've done.
What's your process like? Do you have any weird rituals?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, you guys have a process ritual that you guys like record or anything like that?
For recording?
Yeah, recording, writing, whatever.
Or in general, what ritual? There's got to be. Is there a ritual that exists somewhere?
Smoke some weed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, gotta let loose. We always let loose. We like to ride
We always
together.
have water on hand.
Yeah, we got the
stay
fan.
hydrated.
I think riding, like being in the van together, like going to venue is always, we always have our best shows. I feel like when we get to ride in together and like, really be brothers. And
That's really
Mixing up the energy.
Very, very true. If we have that time, instead of just like showing up and like just getting on stage almost, it's like, we're all together. We meet somewhere first. Maybe we rehearse. I don't know if you've ever done that. Like rehearse before a show. I think I just lied. Other bands I may have done that. Whatever that might be. It's just, instead of having to get all of those things out, like we don't get a chance to like be in each other's energy before we're on stage and have to create energy for other people. So like how are we gonna like know how the other is feeling, and work off of that if like we just like get on stage and that's the first time we talk to each other, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
When we're on the road, we get there super early, so there's no stress setting up, eat, grab a drink, just like that. Those are always our best shows, as opposed to like
talk through the set list that we might have.
or like when we're on tour, we'd be driving around listening to the night before and stuff like that. Little things like, oh shoot, remember when you did that? Like we extended it.
Don't do that again.
Don't do
Do
that,
that again.
You gotta listen back. You gotta hear, because when you're performing and you're in the moment, you might remember some things like the next day, but let a week go by and you go listen to that recording and you're completely displaced from it, to the point where now you could, more critically analyze yourself and like the group and hear, all right, well, this could have been, this maybe could have been a little different. This could have been maybe been tighter. Like, you kind of start checking boxes like that. I think it's a really important, understated thing for like musicians to listen back to themselves play.
Sometimes you gotta like go back to correct, kind of like a playbook.
That's I call it watching game tape. That's exactly what I do. Even it broke Fish up once, but whatever. I think it's important. They don't do that. I don't think they do that anymore. They used to do that all the time. They used to like listen right away, and they would like yell at each other. Now they don't talk about the music anymore.
I sometimes I'll record the gig on the phone and I'll play it back in the car on the way home, and I'll listen to it, because like you get removed from it and you're like, well, I want to relive that moment for a second, and let me hear how that went, because I remember that feeling really good. Did it sound as good as I remember it feeling? You know what I mean? And then you go back and listen.
And then there's also opposite. Like, oh God, we really botched that. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they listen to it and we're like, nope. No, we didn't.
More than not, that happens. Yeah. It's interesting.
We got through.
Sometimes it's a sense of reassurance that you get from listening back,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, I thought I fucked that up, but then it's like, oh, that was really good. I had an instance of that would like really fucked me up for a little bit, where I thought like it was like really bad, but it ended up being really good. So I think like that right there is just like,
Well,
top
what
tier.
For me doing video so much, what I realize is like your facial expressions are so important, because people really vibe off that energy.
Oh yeah.
Like on camera, you should be smiling, or for the audience, like when they see you're having a good time, they could. But if you're standing there not moving, like it kills their vibe too. They're not paying. They want a reason. Like you're going crazy on stage. You need to draw that kind of attention. I think that's really valuable, even just to like do the whole slug face.
It's so funny, like
that kind of thing.
in a jam, being in like the jam band thing. It's like sometimes since we are creating on the spot, I get so into what I'm like. Everything is blocked out. I'm like, we are not on stage right now. We are somewhere else, and I am locked into either my drum set, or I'm looking at people, the band members, that I just like. I just got a mean mug on, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm having fun. I am also having fun.
Everybody gets into that headspace.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's different. Like I also play for some like folk rock, where the song is the song. You know what I mean? So like once I learned that, just like
exactly.
Right, cut a loose one.
totally different mindset than jam band.
Do you guys ever coordinate like any I don't know, like little things to get the like crowd like high, like any like like y'all jump at the same time, or like something like that? Yeah.
We haven't done any synchronous jumping, no.
Influences, like what was like, go around, talk about like what was something in your childhood that said, I want to do music?
Shit.
I could answer that pretty easily. So when I was in high school, one of my friends who was in a band, they didn't have a bass player. Their bass player wasn't showing up to rehearsals or anything like that. And I'm like, I'll do it. My dad had a short scale Dan Electro bass. We're guitar players, so we're used to the shorter scale, and I'm playing guitar for a couple of years at that point. And then started playing bass in this band, and I really enjoyed the experience of like getting together and being in a band, like writing music together, going and playing shows together. That kind of like it's like a brotherhood in a way, but it was a really fun experience for me. And then I went to school for computer networking for a semester, and I didn't enjoy it. Like I'm a computer nerd, but I didn't enjoy like going to school for that. And I found out like that's when I needed to change. I needed to pivot to just going to music. And I went to Five Towns, met this guy, and.
In music school, you guys met, and that was 14 years ago, and then you guys started playing ever since.
Wow. Yeah, well, we met in 2009. I don't think we actually started jamming until a little bit later than that, but we were in like Harmony 1 together. Like, yeah.
Wow. You knew that? You didn't know that?
I knew that they'd been together. They had been in a musical relationship for a long, long time. But yeah, I didn't realize it was, damn.
Yeah. And you, Nick, you were tenderly watching them from afar.
Yeah, I was very far away. Complete opposite end of the island. I got my first drum set when I was 5. So I was taking lessons right from that get-go. So like I joined band in school early, and my first band teacher just made me want to be a music teacher. So that was it. Like that, I didn't really do anything else. So I haven't done anything else besides music for my entire life. Yeah. I mean, from that point, I wanted to be a teacher. So like every step I had made was to be a music teacher. So like I did the jazz, the musical theater, the NISMA, if anybody knows what that is.
Sure, I did that saxophone NISMA back in the heyday.
I went to college for music education for voice, and halfway through, I hated it, and I realized that I did not really want to teach anymore. I just wanted to play, and I didn't really have that confidence prior, I guess. I don't really know, even though I always loved performing, it was different, I guess, in school. You know what I mean? Because like it was just like a part of it. It was like that wasn't rock music. You know what I mean? But then I joined the pep band in college, and they let me sing, and I did "Dream On" by Aerosmith with the pep band, the Green Machine.
Give me some of that.
And then we also did a Rage Against the Machine mashup thing that like went viral, and like I was like, oh, I could get down on this, and the director of that was like, yeah, bro, you can get down on this, like do what you want to do, and so then I came home and just started playing in bands, and then one of my first bands, Abandoned Ship, linked up with these guys at shows, and then Geo Tribe and Abandoned Ship started playing a bunch together, and then the world ended. And Abandoned Ship ended, Geo Tribe ended, and we were like, let's do a thing.
Man, so you guys all died in like COVID and like reborn as like
Reborn as Whaley.
Are we allowed to say that? That's not gonna cut the algorithm.
Unalived, that thing you say for YouTube.
You gotta beep it out.
Yeah, cut that.
You guys bleep.
Well, funny on that little note, because we did a show last night called Taking Back Scene Day. Okay. And it was all like a play on Taking Back Sunday. They're a Long Island band, and revitalizing the music scene. But when I posted the video, the auto captions titled it as Taking Vaccine Day. Yeah.
That's great.
That's really funny.
Did you? Yeah. So
That's amazing.
I was like, nope, that's not the.
No. Cut that.
Get that out of here.
So now let me ask, you guys are fantastic musicians. You guys, clearly
Oh wait,
have,
what
like,
about Whaley? We want to hear about the Whaley journey.
Well, before he says that, I mean, I would say like I'm already seeing a pattern that education in music has been the common theme that all of us have been inspired by a teacher or something. Five Towns.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Whaley?
When does it start?
When did I start?
Where does the Logan journey begin?
I mean, when I was a kid, like my brother is a drummer, and he had an awesome like rock band. They play a lot of Dead and Allman Brothers, and I was just like, I want to do that. You're looking up to your older brother. And I started at like 9. I think I started playing guitar. Had a really good teacher, private lessons, and then when I was 18, it was like, I want to do music. Like this is what I was doing chorus and stuff like that, and I was just like, I want to, music is what I cared about. So I was like 18, went to 5 towns, you know, and met these guys and Sean, who's not here, but he plays horns with us.
He's alive.
Yeah.
So, were your parents supportive?
Yeah.
of your-
All of you guys had like supportive parents toward like the music thing, or did you ever get like, what the hell are you
Drum set
thinking?
at 5 years old, like a real one. Like,
No
why
one
would you
does
do
that.
That's so sick.
That's loud and obnoxious.
Yeah.
Not playing it.
I mean, granted, it came with lessons, so it was like, you're not going to have this unless you know how to do it. You know what I mean, kind of thing.
But when you told them that it's what you wanted to do, was that?
At 5, I don't know. I honestly don't remember if I told them that that's what I wanted. I had a play drum set when I was like 2 or 3, and I beat it to shit. So and a guitar, and like a fake, not a fake guitar. It was a real kid's guitar, but I didn't know what the fuck. I was just like, so they were like, all right, music is definitely something he's gonna continue to enjoy. So might as well foster it, I guess, instead of just letting him bang on random shit.
Rest is history.
Never done did stop.
You know, I would say like I begged my parents for a guitar, and they were like, "No, you're just gonna quit it like you quit everything else." You know, like, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna spend a month doing chores," and I did like, okay, I put this away, I threw out the garbage here and there, and then Christmas Santa Claus brought me a guitar, and that changed my life. 11 years old, that, and who, goes back to. It all goes back to that moment, and but my parents made me like ask for it, really want it, and that made me like try and prove them wrong, like so there's a lesson in that, like music is something that we can't take for granted. It's a leisure, it's something that we do in our spare time. We have to have a balance between getting our work done, getting our lives together. You can't be all about music, and music has to be part of your business, and business and music, and it all goes together.
That way, the other way too. Business unfortunately does have to be part of the music. If you wanted to do something for you, you could, you can absolutely just do music to do music and have fun and like have it be a therapy. But if like something that we're trying to do is we got to.
So that's kind of what I'm curious about. I want to hear from you, Logan. So you teach lessons and play gigs,
Yes.
right? And so how many gigs would you say you played? Like how about like last year, 2023? Like how many gigs do you think you laid down?
Probably 150.
Holy
something like that.
shit.
Yeah, like like during the summer it was probably like 5 or 6 days a week. And then the band did a bunch,
So 5 or 6 days a week,
Yeah,
solo
so
gigs,
a
and
lot of
then
them.
weekends
Playing
like
with the
playing
band, yeah, pretty
with
much.
the band,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
Fucking
Thanks.
kudos.
Yeah,
Your car must be beat.
Yeah. Definitely put a lot of freaking miles on that thing.
What percentage? By the way, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I think a lot of musicians watch our podcast, so they'd probably want to know, and I'm curious to know, how do you break down? Because what I've heard is, musicians, you have to have like kind of different streams of income, like X amount from lessons, X amount from gigs, maybe X amount from like streams. If so like if you're comfortable sharing it, I would love to hear just how you kind of balance that, and like what percentage comes from gigging,
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I mean, gigs obviously pay better. Like, the gigs are probably the main, primary. But then the lessons, like, I'm grateful to have those lessons to fall back on, like during the winter and during the week to kind of stay sharp and try to spread the gift of music. Like my teachers inspired me, so I just try to bring that to my lessons to be like, this kid could be the next like Grammy, this could be the next Billy Strings here. So like,
You got any like promising prospects?
Yeah, they're all coming along. So it's fun. I enjoyed teaching music, and like if I'm doing music, then it doesn't really feel like work, even though sometimes after a while like you get burned out playing so much. Yeah. But just kind of remind yourself like playing music. Like, come on now.
Yeah, right? Like, he could be like, you know, doing God knows what, shoveling or like, you know, bricklaying, you know.
Fixing sewers.
Yeah.
Or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what about like, is there a message that you guys might have for like, you know, maybe some musicians that are not as far along the path as you guys are, right? So starting out or in their first couple of years or.
Stay patient. Stay patient. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna make mistakes, but you gotta stick with it, and you just gotta keep your eye on the prize, basically. You know, you want to be a better musician, you got to want that shit. You got to practice every day. You got to, you know, make it a routine. That's how you do it.
I couldn't have said it better myself, really. That's, yeah.
It's like
I would've said the
exercising
same
your
exact
muscles.
thing. Yeah.
You guys all practice every day? Daily?
Oh,
yeah, definitely. I touch an instrument every day.
Definitely, yeah.
Semantics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, like, we came from, like, a sports background before, like, you know, when we were younger. So it's like, you kind of treat it like that, where it's like, you got to put in the work every day. And, like, if you don't, then you know.
You're only gonna get out of it as much as you put in. Yeah. That's really the bottom line there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, starting a band, you know, I had to first get people interested. And at first I was like, every week we meet, and I'm like, am I wasting their time? You know, because we don't have any songs. We're just jamming in the key of E, like forever. And, you know, you have to find people that commit. People shuffle in, they shuffle out. And they, you know, say, I love jamming with you, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth. That's the term of the century. Have you heard that one? Bandwidth.
I gotta say that a lot. You know, it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't
So-
want to I don't want to waste anyone's time.
It's tough picking
They need
projects, right? Like,
someone, you know.
there's so many great musicians out there, you know, and then like, you know, one person wants to do a duo, another person, you know, and then, but like, I feel like you kind of have to focus. Like, there's only so many things you could do proficiently at one time.
Priority that, or get like really good musicians that you can work with, that you can trust, that know their shit, and then you just hold up your end of the bargain.
Right.
That's the way that I operate with like any cover band I work with. Like, you know your shit.
Yeah.
We meet, we play, and then I'll see you at the gig. You know, that's really.
You have to also work on the friendship too, because like, if you know it seems like a job, then they're gonna quit. You know.
Yeah. 100%. Like, there needs to be a sense of camaraderie, but you also gotta like know your stuff. Like, you know, musicality and camaraderie, and then technicality and professionalism. These are like all super important traits. Which brings me up to a question, if I may ask. Within your guys' you know, band, within your group, like I listen to you guys play, you have really great technique. You guys have a really great essence of the songs. You know, when it comes down to it, how much of that is musicality? How much of that is technicality when you guys are playing? You know?
Tough question.
Like, how much of that is you feeling it? How much of that is you like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna run this scale"?
Well,
Right.
that's like an ongoing debate. It's like, do you want to?
Technicality.
You don't want to be overly technical, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
if you become overly technical, then maybe you're going to lose some of that feel. You know, you might have two musicians that are playing the same exact piece, but one of them is playing it just like to the page, and the other one is feeling it more. And you're gonna probably resonate more with the person that's feeling it more. You know, even if there is like a little mistake, it's the feeling that counts. It's not, you know, people like doing things fast is impressive, but it needs to be executed properly. You know.
Quote about that, right? About the piano, right? It's like to hit the wrong key is like human or something, but to play without passion is inexcusable. Something like that. I don't know if you heard that. I heard that quote. Something. I butchered it probably.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, with guitar, it's not about how fast you shred and all that. It's like, the feeling that you put into it. And, I mean, maybe that could segue into our segment called Tone Talk.
Someone please sponsor us. That's why we.
I want pedals.
Because tone, in guitar at least, comes from the fingers. Oh, yeah. Right? You know, pinch harmonics. Other harmonics. Fingering, sliding, picking up, picking down, alternate like there's so much to it, and so where do you guys get your tone from?
Yeah.
It's your influences. You know, and as you grow up, when you're growing up and you're listening to music, you have, you know, certain musicians that you're trying to play like. I'm sure Nick as a drummer had a lot of, you know, like Neil Peart is probably like, that was like your main guy probably.
One of we started talking about influence before, but then we like turned it into origin stories. But yeah, you know, Neil Peart and Mike Portnoy, like those are my first two big dude. I was such a prog kid, you know, after you know, like getting through classic rock, and you know, so kind of have to start there, I guess. I don't know, but like after getting through AC/DC, Zeppelin, and shit like that, you know, with Pink Floyd and Genesis and Yes, and then I got heavier for some reason, but you know, then that kind of changed a little bit. Like I'm so much more about the feeling of things now, so I guess, you know, there is that technical mind about me. Like the other day, for the first time, we spent like, what was it, an hour trying to figure out this thing that we did by accident, and then we wanted to recreate it, and then we were like trying to make it cool. So we were there like counting for like an hour, you know what I'm saying? And like, we don't normally do that.
Yeah. We're counting high too. It's like we're counting like 15.
Odd time signature.
Yeah,
that's like four times.
plus one or minus one.
You guys are
Or
playing
is it
with
plus
13
one?
now.
Well, that's what it was. That's what it became. Was like, are we adding a beat? Are we taking a beat away? Does it matter?
Yeah. Are we in 4? Am I in 4?
You're in 4. You're in 7. What is going on? Maybe it's 11.
Guys, the simple answer is you were playing 13/8.
Yeah, right.
So within the tone talk though, you're talking about an influence. So is there like a specific influence that you want? You know, I will start with the bass and maybe we go to the guitar too. You know, maybe someone that you want your bass to kind of sound like, and then is there a specific piece of equipment that kind of helps you achieve that?
Okay, so in a way, you know, you grow up and you want to emulate these different guys, but as you are progressing, you don't want to just be a one-trick pony and sound like, all right, I sound like Paul McCartney, or I sound like Joe Dart, or I sound like Flea or something, you know? You want to mesh it into your own thing. You want it to be original. And that's the hardest thing, is to be original, because it feels like everything's been done already.
Right.
But if you can, you know, that's what you build towards. You know, you take a little bit of this from this guy, you take a little bit of that, and you put it in. And then what do you get? You get you know, you get your unique sound. And so... Yeah, I think that's super important. And like for me, it was like growing up listening to the Beatles. I'm like indoctrinated in, you know, just growing up in the car. My dad is constantly Beatles. So I think I got a little bit of an ear for harmony from that. You know, just, and then going my own direction, like Radiohead, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Arctic Monkeys, like, and all the, not to mention all the jazz cats. You know, like just Paul Chambers. Hop, Niels Henning Orsted Pedersen, all the Ray Brown, all these guys. You know, I take influence from everybody, and I hope I have a unique sound. I mean, that's what I try to do, but you know, I think that's just really important. Just try to get unique. Try to be unique.
Andrew has
Be yourself.
he's a Thunderfinger guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way like Derek Trucks is just like he just plugs into a nice amp, into a tube amp, and just goes. So I like to kind of keep it clean. Like as far as like tone wise, I'm more of like a clean guy. I don't get like crazy about all the different gadgets. I've got some pedals, but like you know, I just, like you said, I try to do most of the playing with the fingers, and just like, you know, we went to school for jazz, so like a lot of it was, you know, no bending, like playing with the flat wounds, and like that's kind of you know, I can't really shake that now. It's kind of in me. But then also, you know, jam bands, Humphreys, Fish, those are the people I look up to, and I'm kind of all over the place with my music. Like at any given time, I just take stuff from all over the spectrum.
Yeah, it's so hard to pinpoint. You know what I mean? I've tried to incorporate so much of different things because I'm influenced by so much. I feel like I just make sure that I'm always playing I'm a play to the song kind of guy, and whatever the song is calling for, that's what that's what I don't want. There's no reason to be like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to be adding double bass just because that I have it in front of me. Right. You know what I mean? Even though I did today.
You play to the song.
But that song, like every time we play it, since I don't have a working double bass pedal right now, I feel it and I hear it, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, this song is yearning for the double bass pedal. So you know what I mean? Like it's that's kind of where. So I feel my style might change depending on who I'm playing with, what we're playing. Like even just within Whaley, our sound is so eclectic. From rock to the reggae and the funk in between. So just try to be mindful of that kind of thing. But I guess there's certain Balls-esque things that I do that certain people can that have known me for a while can tell when I'm
just by listening
track or something like that, because I've done a lot of different studio work with different people, and I might be like they might not use me for a whole record, but I'll send the record to my friend and be like, what am I playing on, kind of thing, and I've got someone that can say, okay, this is you, and so there's something about my playing that's me, I guess, but I don't know if I'm actively trying.
What do you think? You guys know him better. Like, what do you think is characteristic of the Nick Balzano specialty?
I think it's musicality, man. I'm sorry, but everything you just said was like the definition of someone who plays with musicality. Like that's heart and soul right there, bro.
Thank you.
Well, what do you think?
I would say I'd categorize Nick as someone who knows how to play to the pocket really well. He knows when to stretch out and he knows when to lay out. Just play the beat, and then when it's your turn to do something, then he does it. It goes back to like what he's saying about playing to the song. You got to play to the song. Like perfect example, like "In My Life" by the Beatles. You listen to the Ringo drum beat. It's like he's hitting the hi-hat like once in a measure. And you most drummers would go to play that song and then they'd play like a full beat. Right. But that's for all you Ringo haters out there. You are wrong. You are wrong.
Look directly at the camera and say that. Man.
Which one? That one?
This one right here. This one.
That one right there. You're wrong. Don't hate on Ringo. Ringo's the man. All right. All you snob drummers out there. He's the man. All right. Don't hate on him.
What do you appreciate about I want to know what you guys appreciate about each other.
I mean, the attention to detail, like when we're going through a song, like everything is always like these guys really want to pay attention to the know the song. What are you saying?
Right. Yeah. We like knowing what not just knowing what we're doing, but we kind of all know what everyone else is doing at a given time too. Yeah. So I think like that, yeah.
Like you guys feel like telepathic from playing with each other so much, like you can almost pick up when you're in it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's points where like Nick won't even have the hi-hat going, but I know exactly when he's coming back in. I don't even have to be looking at him, we just know.
You just get that
we just know.
feeling.
When do you get feeling?
Yeah.
What do you appreciate about Andrew's bass slab?
Oh man, his bass is like, he freaking
Finger.
yeah, no, he definitely has his own unique sound, and like
For all the ladies out there.
I'm so sorry.
He's gonna be in the doghouse.
Open.
You want to demonstrate like a little bit?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so about Logan.
He's got like forearms and biceps on his.
Are these two fingers like significantly stronger than the rest of your hand?
Oh yeah, for sure. I could do a pull up like that if I wanted.
Really?
I need to see this, dude. Well, I'm taking you to the rock climbing gym.
Just like spider your way up the wall.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna start climbing with my finger, like the two fingers, next time I go.
It's on the bucket list, man. I do wanna.
Oh, dude, you want? Dude, Hit me up. We'll go. We'll go on a Sunday
We're all
morning.
going rock climbing.
We're all going rock climbing. I'm indoctrinating everybody either to the gym or rock climbing. There's no stopping. Next thing you know, everyone's getting matching tattoos.
Nice.
Anything specific you want to tell people about March 8th? Like, what, for that specific show for you guys to come out? Or anything like that?
I mean, we're definitely, we're super psyched to be playing that show. Aqua Cherry, all these great bands. We're going to be, bringing the summer to March. It's been a cold winter, and we've been looking forward to this show for a while.
Yeah, it's all our friends, you know what I mean? So it's like...
It is air conditioned, it's indoors.
You don't need 2 shirts for this one.
We checked it out. There's a lot of amenities. There's a green room. You guys can enjoy hanging out with other bands.
We'll take care of you guys.
There's a VIP area. There's 2 bars, and they have Burgerology connected, so you could grab a burger if you want, and we'll have like snacks and drinks provided, little, like finger foods. Maybe
And if you get there early enough, you get to hang out with me.
Yeah, man, we'll be there. Yeah.
The whole thing is like we want to make you guys feel special. You are special.
Yeah.
So we want you to have that feeling because, we don't want you to be the sideshow that, bars tend to, we don't want cars to be going by when you're playing.
Yeah. No, it's true though. You guys deserve
Yeah,
you
deserve it because, art comes from the heart. Unlike any other work that you do, no offense to Bojack, you put your heart into your work.
I mean, like
he's a software engineer. So,
yeah,
the
the
heart
heart
comes
of my
from the
work.
brain. His heart is in
Sure.
his brain.
My heart is in my brain and in my fingers.
But music is a feeling, it comes from the heart, and you're putting yourself out there, like you're exposing yourself when you get on stage in ways that are appropriate, but
Sometimes not.
Hey, whoa. Why not get
just
flagged
like
by
the
YouTube
many
copyright?
years, we want you to know and feel like, the many years that you guys have committed into this music, all the heart and soul and sweat and tears, like, we want you to know that it means something, and like March 8th, we want you to feel that it meant something, and that it means something. And I'm grateful that your band exists, and I'm grateful for the good vibes and the good energy that I get when I listen to your music. And I don't know. I just want you to know that. All right. So.
No, it means a lot.
No, I feel like, when it comes to the Long Island music scene, there are so many bands. I'm going to just hit this fader real quick. There are so many bands that, deserve an honest-to-God spotlight because they've spent so much time cultivating, a community of good local music. You guys are a part of that community. And as we try and build, foster, and expand that and kind of like revitalize, the scene, we want to make sure that the people that we bring on when we do our events, when we do our shows and stuff like that, feel important, feel special, because you guys are a part of this bustling community. You guys are helping us grow, not just, like us as a, brand or whatever, but also just the community that we're trying to foster, because this is all about bringing everybody together to enjoy local music, to enjoy the arts. Like Shay said, this is all about the emotion that we put into it. It's all about the heart that we put into it. And you guys, along with every other band that we've worked with and everybody else that we've come across, from podcast interviews to going to shows and stuff like that, really are like the examples of, passionate people that want to, revitalize the community. And you guys are a perfect example of that.
Living it.
You guys are literally living it. We got Balzano here.
Well, we did get a partnership with the Patchogue Arts Council and also the Patchogue Chamber of Commerce. There's a lot of local businesses, and if you guys know Patchogue, party people. These guys come out. You already know Live After 5 and other festivals, the Band Shell, and there's so much that goes on there. They have Patchogue Arts Theater. They're an arts, town. And probably better because you are from Suffolk, right?
Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes from Patchogue, and that's the place to do things. You know what I mean? Near me, at least, on the South Shore. I've been doing stuff there, 14 years, something like that. You know what I mean? Like my festival, Pine Barrens Jam, is hosted at Blue Point there. You know what I mean? And they have an art. They have like multiple arts festivals that go on there. There's obviously the biggest one is Live After 5, but they also do Arts on Terry, which is they have the arts apartments that are off of Main Street. That's right by the Stereo Garden, I think. Yeah.
It's off of Main Street. Yeah, it's on Railroad Avenue. So, but Main Street is like, that main strip where they have, all kinds of wellness centers and all kinds of like, Record Stop, which is a big record store over there, vinyl. Big shout out to them. They're very supportive of what we're doing. They're fully down. They're like, anything, we'll share it out. Make sure, because we're all complementary in the community, and local businesses and musicians and artists can all benefit and work together on this venture. So we're very grateful to the Patchogue community for being part of what we're doing, supporting us. The Patchogue Arts Council, they've supplied live painters and artists who are up and coming and thriving. And, you guys need album artwork, talk to the Patchogue Arts Council. Not you guys, but anybody who's in a band.
One of you listening.
Anybody listening.
Well, you guys do, though.
But I mean, art and music go together like...
Bread and butter.
Bread and butter,
Or like a charcuterie board. You kind of get to pick and choose what you want,
There you go. Yeah. So, Pine Barrens Jam Festival, how's that?
We're probably going to take a break this year from the big fest so that we can focus on next year and maybe go bigger than we have in the past.
Nice.
But we're also going to be teaming up with probably we'll probably have a presence at the Blue Point 420 and Alive After 5 as well. Just doing some smaller things this year and then come back bigger and better than ever.
Sick.
But I mean that we're another entity just trying to put the focus on original Long Island music, art. We do poetry and comedy as well. You guys have some comedians, right?
Yeah, we have a
They're
lineup
going to
of
be performing in
comedians coming
between,
up. Yeah. So as we're like changing the setup, they're going to be like speaking and stuff. So
I love that.
Yeah, we got everything taped down.
Comedy is an art form too. I mean,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Huge comedy fan, so
Don't have enough of that on Long Island.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pete Davidson was on Long Island
open
recently.
mic.
Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, he did a show in fucking Levittown. It was ridiculous.
Hey, I mean, Long Island needs a laugh.
Pete Davidson, if you watch this, come to Long Island. Come do one of our festivals, man.
We have a full lineup of comedians too. So the 15 minutes that each band set up and break down, there'll be a comedian to keep the show going.
Love that.
We have flow artists, these hula hoopers, and butterfly people, and all kinds of creative. Like, this is just like all the arts, all creativity, all in one.
Right.
So Pine Barren Jam, we're gonna help you out with that because all the festivals need to come together. It takes a village, like you said, to
Absolutely.
So we want to have a stage, in different places, different festivals, and we'll totally support PBJ.
Well, that's our org. So we created it with the intention of being a nonprofit that just supports music and arts, right? So like that's anywhere that like our organization can support musicians, like we're up for it, So that's kind of I don't know.
That's the move, man.
Yeah.
Supporting each other and building a collaborative, healthy community. There's no need for us to be too competitive with each other.
No.
It's all about how we present ourselves and how we move forward.
I think that's kind of what happened to the scene a little bit. It became a little competitive, which it's easy to happen. You know what I mean? When it's so saturated.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on. Obviously, most of it being tribute and cover acts. So we got to kind of like break through that, and be the louder thing. Which
Right.
is why I love your name, ListenUp. It's like we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it came to me at the gym. I was like, listen, like Long Island Sound and Talent Experience Network. So we create for Long Island, the Long Island Sound, right? Because we are the Long Island Sound, right? And we represent all the talents that Long Island has to offer and create these experiences within our network.
Yeah.
So that's what the acronym for listen.
I love that.
And I'm like, listen up, because we're moving upwards. So that's, the long version of where that came from.
That's awesome.
But
I try to make everything an acronym. so
yeah,
that's
right.
great.
PBJ,
Yeah.
There you go. So
Sounds delicious.
I want one now.
We only had PBJ the first year, and then after that we forgot.
So,
Took on a new meaning.
So I got a question for y'all. You know, from the things that you've seen in, you know, your community, in, you know, the scene and stuff like that, what are some things that you want to see improve? What are some things you want to see kind of like carry over on to, you know, the next generation of musicians that are coming on? Because there are a bunch of new bands that are starting. There are a bunch of new people that are, you know, picking up the guitar, that are picking up the bass, that are picking up the drums, that really want to engage themselves into the scene. How can we make that more accessible? You know, like, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's kind of happening. Before the pandemic, there were a lot more open mics and jams and things for just like to network, you know, going on. So I feel like more of that is kind of starting to come back again. Obviously, industry is doing a really good job of it. So, you know, that's kind of one of the things that I hope to happen more. It's just a space for new people to go and test out their craft, because you know, you might not be able to bring anyone to a show yet. You know what I mean? You might, you know, because you know, there's, you know, places have to make money, unfortunately, and you know, so like, there's that. So like, you know, just places that you can just, I know I can go and play there in front of people and just like get better at that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you know, and there's always going to be like bookers and stuff like that, like, you know, Planet of Sounds, that gives those bands like, you know, a place, you know what I mean, which is great. Yeah, that's really it. You know, I'm sure there's other things, but for me, that's a big one. Just like having a place to just go and immerse yourself in it. Even if you don't have, if you don't know where to start, if you don't have the connections or know who the bookers are or whatever it is, you know, just yeah.
Well, it's good. Everybody needs an outlet for their creativity, whether that be, you know, open mic or like a jam or whatever you want to do. I mean, aside from music, I mean, this goes for all walks of life. It's just like you need an outlet for your energy. You know, you need to have those outlets. You need to have the bands. You need to have your exercise or whatever you're doing in your life or whatever else fulfills you. You know, that's kind of what you know, projects you forward.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with that statement. There always needs to be some type of way for us to break the mold, or at least just express ourselves and garner some type of feedback, or at least within a community that we can like grow with.
Yeah, because what happens if you don't have that outlet? You get frustrated. You're like, I need to play this. You know, I mean, maybe you record and you put it up online, and that's an outlet too. But there's something about doing it live and in person that it's an organic experience, and I think the more that we foster that sort of environment, the better our music scene will be.
Yeah, and make it welcoming, because the, you know, open mics can get a little cliquey and a little intimidating, and they invite, you know, the same people are going up every week, and so you just gotta, you know, people that run those things need to be a little more mindful of that new people are coming there to play for the first time.
Yeah. With arms wide open, as Creed would say. So I think this is a good natural spot to wrap up shop. We're going to call the podcast here. But before we end it, we're just going to go around real quick. We got our own tradition that we do. So first thing, your favorite Whaley song, right? For people who are looking, you know, go check out these songs that we shout out. So I want to know your favorite Whaley song. I want you to shout out one band somewhere in Long Island that you think is doing something great. And then if there's anything that you feel was unsaid or anything you want to shout out, you know, something that you didn't get the chance to say during the podcast, but it's popping up in your mind like, oh, I wish I talked about that. Now's the time to do that, okay? So we'll just go around, and I'll start. Favorite Whaley song? Simple and free, because that's just what I want to be, man. I just want to be simple and free. And then, you know, favorite band that's doing something big right now. You already know what I'm gonna say, man. I cannot say it, man. It's the Rooster, man. I'm obsessed with the Rooster, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then that's it, man. And I'm just grateful that you guys took the trip out here to come kick it with us. So we'll go around. Do you want to go last, or you want to go?
I'll go last. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go
All
this
right,
way.
I'd say my favorite Whaley song is "Fly," which used to be called "Positivity," just because, like I said before earlier in the podcast, that checks all those boxes for me of dynamics and good feeling and just a good overall message. And Logan's probably going to say the same thing once I what was the second thing that we say?
Second thing is shout out a band somewhere in
Dysfunctone. Shout out Dysfunctone.
Dysfunctone.
You guys kill it. We just toured with them. We were like basically living with them for like a week in Airbnbs and eating breakfast together, and, and like all sorts of fun stuff.
A couple Cracker Barrel trips, you know.
That's the dream for me.
And then
right
last
there.
thing, if anything unsaid or anything
Anything
you
unsaid? Well, if I had to say the tone talk thing, tone talk part two, real quick. You're talking about, well, what about your gear? Does it all come from your fingers? And I'd say, yeah, it does come from your fingers. But like for me, I just built a pedal board like this last year. Before that, I was all passive bass. I was just plugging in. It didn't matter what the venue was. I just plugged the bass right in. And now I've kind of been messing around with these pedals, and the pedals are another instrument in themselves. So you need to kind of develop a relationship with you and the pedal, and then that stacks on top of each other if you're using multiple pedals. And shout out Dysfunctone Dave Wolfson for showing me the ways, letting me use his pedal board when we were touring with them and experimenting with that sound, because once you change the sound of the instrument, which is essentially what a pedal is doing, it's altering your sound. Your ear hears it differently too. So it's like what you're gonna play with from your fingers is gonna change because you're hearing it differently. And yeah, that's what I would say.
So I appreciate that.
Cheers, Andrew. Hell yeah. All right, over to the Nick, to the balls, man.
Oh no!
Comes from the balls.
Skipped over the Bojack. I'm hurt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still in this podcast.
Okay, yeah, Bojack, yeah.
It's okay. I
So,
have no
it's
idea what
okay,
I'm
it's
gonna say.
okay. I really like balls. No, I'm kidding. Funky Tonight. I really like funk tracks. I think they're fun.
That is a sick track.
Yeah, it is a very fun track. And when I listen to music, my biggest thing is like, for me, it's like, is it fun to listen to? Is it fun to like want to emulate and fun to want to play? And that song just hits those, boxes for me. Like whenever I listen to something, as long as it's fun and it sounds fun, like I could see myself playing this, or I could see myself like dancing to this. Like that's it for me. Whether it's like in the mosh pit and like I'm like beating the shit out of somebody, or whether I'm like dancing with my girl or doing something, the whole shebang, that's it for me. So
Nice.
I hope you guys play that live at Stereo.
Hell yeah, I hope I see that one march.
You'll catch me dancing.
Yeah, I'm going to be
with
doing the
Kareem
worm on
and
that
Glenn,
song. All right, hell yeah, Butch.
My favorite Whaley song is most likely also Fly, but I will say Speculate, because that's definitely probably my second favorite. I don't know, I love that groove. It kind of just makes me want to move the most out of most of this. Well, there's everything makes me want to move that. But yeah, I get a drum solo, and usually I just like that ethereal style, like jamming. So like if the jam that we usually get into, either in the middle or at the end, kind of makes that my favorite. But also the recording is a lot of fun too, adding all the percussion and stuff like that. Something that we didn't talk about today, or is there something? Wait,
Anything for you
Shout out a band.
Oh yeah, first shout out a band.
shout out a band. Crap, I was gonna say Dysfunctone. They're our boys. But let's say, oh God, there's so many. Why? There's so many. Lord. Okay. This is
Like
a
Lord?
hard question. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. You didn't know? He's from Long Island. Super local, hyper local.
Australia.
I guess I'll say MJT.
Nice.
We gig with them a lot, and they're just great musicians and great dudes, and yeah. Something that we might have missed today. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure did.
I'm
We've been through a
not
lot.
really. Yeah, I'm not really. We've been through so much together, man.
Very, very long journey.
Oh man.
It's okay. You don't need to. If there's
Yeah,
nothing else.
maybe something will pop in my head before we're done, but go for it.
All right, my favorite Whaley song, I'm gonna say "Same Old." We get to rock out a little bit harder. Actually, probably keep it recording. Honestly, I forgot about that one. Maybe keep it. Yeah, keep it recording. Same Old's something we recorded. Keep it recording. Something I'm looking forward to getting out there. As far as a band, I got to shout out Ernie in the band.
I think I share a rehearsal space with them.
Hell yeah, nice. Massapequa.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah.
Massapequa.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah, we're on the. I don't know. There's like 2 buildings.
Yeah,
over
there's
there.
like 2 buildings over there. Yeah.
Our stickers on the door.
We had, we got to play with them a bunch. We went down to South Carolina, and we get to share this guy, and it's always good to see him playing with them.
That's the newest thing I think that I'm in at this point, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah.
If you're ever there on a Sunday, man, let me know.
I will. Hell yeah.
And
Anything on set?
yeah, I mean, it's so good to feel supported, like from you guys, from my bandmates. Like doing this music thing is not like the easiest road, and to feel like you're alone doing it, like that sucks. So it feels like it feels really good to feel like at this point in life to feel like you have people supporting you, trying to do this together. We're all doing this together, and so it's really cool to see what you guys are doing, and I'm looking forward to what the future has in store with this crew.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, no, dude.
That
it's
means
like,
a
I
lot
love
to
it.
us, man.
Yeah, we need more people to just try to do stuff like this. Every couple of years there's a new group, and it's what we need. You know what I mean? Because there's only so much just certain group can pound the same message over the same heads. You know what I mean? Like you got to be like, oh wait, there's another group that's trying to do the same thing. There must be something going on. You know what I mean? Like. It's like the same people can't all have the same wrong idea. Over and over again. Like,
Right.
There's obviously something here on Long Island special, and we just need to
We need to harness
need
that
people
energy.
to listen up.
Feed it, right? Yeah. Hey, there it is. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna say my favorite Whaley song, "New Day,"
Nice.
because every time I hear it, it's a new day. And, today is a new day to make a new start, to do something you never did before, to change your mindset from being competitive to working together, to sharing this community of love. So in that one song, you say so much. Simple phrase, new day.
Yeah, thank
It's
you,
a new
man.
day.
Thank you,
Love
bro.
that. So that's it then. All right, Listen Up Long Island, podcast episode 6.
Like, subscribe,
Whaley, go check them
follow,
out.
check out the Whaley.
Let me get in frame to see.
All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Like and subscribe. Whaley Band. March 8th. Get your ticket. One love.
One love.
Peace. All right.